So we want to take a look at Kachim. So we can go through the Mishnayos, and try to create an organization of this, But I think we have enough ideas to create a structure.
Even before we go through Mishnayos?
Well, everybody knows. You'd be surprised what you can dig up. I want to tell you, why do I think you can do that? Let me tell you what the rule is. It's true that you have to learn the Mishnayos. That's true, but to create a structure, you don't really have to know initially the Mishnayos. Why is that? You know why that is? What is the definition of a halacha? Let's understand what a halacha really is. Okay? I have done this before. What is the definition of a halacha? What is a halacha? How do you define it?
Conduct in a situation.
Yes, it's the required behavior in a given situation. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so the halacha is really a required behavior. That's called the din. Right? It's called the din, or the conduct. Now, you can't learn conduct unless you learn Mishnayos, because that tells you what the required behavior is. But remember, every required behavior exists in what? In a given situation. Yes? In other words, what does the Torah do? The Torah comes in and takes a look at a situation, so to speak. And it says, in this situation, I want this to occur. In that situation, I want this to happen. Yes? But we know what the situations are, except we don't know what the din is. So why can't we create a structure of situations without going into the din? You see what I'm saying? We are familiar with situations, even if we don't know what the law is. You see?
Yeah.
But I could create a structure of situations, even if I don't know what the law is, the din is, the rule, the conduct. You see what I'm saying? So we know enough about the situation of Kochim, maybe not the dinim, but we know enough, really, not enough, totally, but we have a handle on the situations of Kochim. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, any Masechta you learn, you could begin to create a structure of the situations, as far as you can go. Right? So you're not as helpless as you look. Yes, because some people say, well, I can't do anything. I don't know anything about Kochim. No, it's not true.
You're not as helpless.
What?
You're not
You're not as helpless as you look. Or as you'd like to project. Okay, so let's structure the situations. Right? Okay, so what's the most obvious situation of Kochim?
Korban.
No. Well, the Korban, I can't say no, I mean, it's true. But there's something even more obvious than a Korban. Who?
Chasro.
No, it's about Kochim, not about... What's obvious about Kochim? I mean, everybody knows this. Go up.
Avoida.
Who?
Avoida.
That's better. Because the Korbanos, is a chelik of the avodah, of the service. Yes? So that was good, see? But go up on that.
Shechina.
That's too far up. No. What about the avodah? You know the answer. The Beis HaMikdash. Isn't there a place called the Beis HaMikdash?
Like that's a place for avoid. It's not up. It's a little down. I mean, it's a place for avoid.
No, but it's so that's up. That's next up. It's obviously there are many things that took place in the Beis HaMikdash. One of them is the avodah And one of the avodas is the korban. You see? So you start with Beis HaMikdash. You know what I'm saying? The Beis HaMikdash is the concept that organizes everything. You see? Okay, great. So let's start with the word Beis HaMikdash. We could say, well, the Beis HaMikdash is a holy place. It's unique because the Shekhinah, so to speak, resides there.
That's a translation.
Who?
I mean, that's a translation.
Of what?
The holy place is a translation of the word Beit HaMikdash.
Yeah, okay, but you know, sometimes when the person thinks of Beis HaMikdash, he thinks of a place. He doesn't realize that it's also holy. Although, you know, if you push him, he will. But we could start off by saying, well, there is a place called the Beis HaMikdash, and the Shekhinah resides there. That's all. That's about, you know, as high up as you want to go. So let's start with the concept called Beis HaMikdash, which is a location. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go down. Now let's look at that and begin to go down. You see what I did? What did I do? What was important about what I did?
For the framework.
Yeah, what did I do? What path did I take to begin to analyze?
You recognize the bigger structure.
Who?
You recognize the bigger structure where we are located.
Oh, yeah, but what, yeah, I did. But I recognized that I could create a structure without knowing the dinim. Just a situation. And I know the situation is the Beis HaMikdash. You see what I'm saying? So I can begin thinking about Beis HaMikdash without knowing all the details of all the laws that went on. You see. We all have a feel. It's in the Chumash. You know, it's not like they never learned Chumash before. You know? So we start with Beis HaMikdash.
Why don't you start from the relationship with Hashem?
Like I did with you in Shabbos.
Yeah.
I could.
It's too high.
Then the Shkofa.
Well, it's higher.
It will be higher, right?
It's higher. If I would do the whole 6 Siddharim, then I would do that also, because then you really get an outline. I did with Moshe Chaim Shabbos. I summarized in like one sentence the essence of all 6 Siddharim of Mishnahs.
Can we do it, by the way?
You can do it, sure. If I tell you one piece wrong, you know.
Because if it's just one sentence, I think
It's a beautiful thing to see.
It's 6 sentences.
Right?
Oh.
Because you can actually see Kol HaTorah Kula, what all the mitzvahs concern itself with, basically.
I can't wait already.
Who?
I can't wait already.
You can't wait. Yeah? Should I do that?
Yeah, sure.
What do you think? Zroim. Subject, object, usage, permissibility. That's it. It's about a subject, a person. I'm not going into the details. It's about a person and his object. What about his object? The usage of his object and the permissibility. What permits it? That's it. The whole run.
It's his object.
Yeah, okay, well that's
It's
a
not
prat. That's a prat.
It's a prat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Subject, object, usage, permissibility. That's it. It's the whole Zroim in 4 words. Subject, object, the usage of that object, and the permissibility required. That's it. 4 words. Now you go to the prat. Who is the subject? What objects are we talking about? Agricultural objects, food items, usage, eating it, right, and permissibility, right? There are 2 methods of permissibility. One is a verbal declaration, which is brachas, and the other, the rest of the Mishnahs is hafrasha, separation. There you are. It's the whole rhyme. Isn't that incredible? And the different Masechtas just deal with the different objects. That's all.
So what's the advantage of saying subject, object, as opposed to saying a Jew agricultural.
Because that's a detail. I don't want to say.
Detail.
Then the question is, who is the subject, and what objects are we talking about? You see, you could say that Jew, agriculture. Yeah, you could, but you know,
lower.
yeah, it's lower. You know, think generically. Think universal, general, and then just go down. I'm not avoiding what you're saying, but I don't want. I want to go up to a certain point. But it's nice because if I went down to Jew and agriculture, right? How am I going to connect that to the other Siddharim?
I won't be able to.
You wouldn't, you see, because you're too detailed.
Yeah.
You see, the higher you go, the greater is the connection that you could see. The lower you go, you're stuck in Zerayim. See, that's the old rule. You see? If you go high enough as a cloud, then you can include many other areas because they are embraced. But if you don't go up, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Subject, object, usage, permissibility. That's the entire subject matter, basically, of Zerayim. And that beautifully adds why Brochus is in Zerayim. Because Brochus is also about object permissibility, except it's a verbal declaration or statement as opposed to a physical act called Hafrasha. That's it. You see? Great. Moed. Come on.
Subject.
Subject. There's a guy. Are we dealing with an object? No.
Time.
We're doing what?
Time.
Time, period. Good. What else we doing with?
The halachas of this time.
Required.
No. What about the time?
Required behavior this time?
The activity. Subject, yes. Time, designated time period. And activities that are regulated. That's it. Either being forbidden or required. There you are. It's the whole moed. So how many words we got there?
I think we could make a siyum at the end of this.
Isn't that incredible? Okay, where's the schnapps? Where's the cake? So what do we have? We have subject, right? Activity, which is regulated by designated time period. And if you want just a little further, it's either forbidden or required. That's the whole moed.
Oh.
Not bad. You didn't think you can summarize it in one sentence?
No. I don't think anybody knows it's possible.
It's true. Probably nobody's going to do this. They'll say, well, let's see. The Shabbos and the Erev and they give the whole business. Yeah.
Shabbos and Yom Tov.
What?
Shabbos and Yom Tov.
Oh, Shabbos and Yom Tov. Well, it's not enough. Noshim. Subject. Oh, you do it. Noshim.
Ownership.
Who?
Subject, object, ownership.
Very good. Excellent.
Wow.
Wow, this guy's good. Subject, object, a legal state called, or relationship, ownership. Because ownership is a relationship between subject and object. So there's 4 words again. Subject, object, relationship, ownership. That's it. Then you go to the pratim. Whose subject? Which object? What is the relationship of ownership called? Then ownership, what? How to create it? How to dissolve it? What are the obligations ownership places on the subject, on the object, etc.? You see, all this it's a nasham.
How does Nida, is Nida a nasham?
No, neither is in Taurus.
It's in Taurus.
Yeah.
That would seem very good because it's not a relationship.
Right,
It's not
right,
ownership. It's just a change.
It belongs to the Hadas. Yeah.
It's a change in
Yeah,
status.
that's what I was wondering. That's why I asked you the question, because it didn't follow the pattern.
Yeah, no, neither is in Taurus.
It's Taurus, okay.
Yes, but something else about Nida is in Noshim. What is it? Which Masechta? It's not about Nida, but it's about the area of Nida.
Yevamos.
No? I actually, in a certain sense, it is.
No, that's ownership. I mean, you want
Ownership, right? Okay, it's a mistake.
I'll tell you the Masechta. Soita. What is the essential idea behind Sota?
Oh,
She
why is,
becomes
it,
also.
Birur.
why is it here? Why is it a notion? Why is it
Why Sota is Nashim?
yeah.
You tell me.
Birur is the birur of a determinant of ownership.
Oh,
No. Why is Sota Nashim?
it's ownership violation. Maybe it should be. It should be nizikim. It's ownership violation of ownership. Maybe.
It is a
Or
violation.
clarification.
It's a
should-
violation of what?
Of ownership.
It's a
It should be
violation.
nizikim.
It's a violation of the subject's rights to his object.
Right.
Yes? Which is intimacy. And somebody violated that right. So you're right. It is an infringement on somebody's rights.
Which is really nizikim. It's not notion.
In a certain sense, yes. But since it's dealing with what? His rights? Because you can't have an infringement if you don't have the positive.
Uh-huh.
Right? So Sota really tells you, well, this guy has a right to his wife.
What about other masechtas in
Who?
nizikim? What about other masechtas in nizikim?
Wait, why is Mendel birur? I thought the whole idea is
What bureau?
Birur, the clarification.
Or to Mavarer?
Nevarel, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a detail. How do we know that she violated?
Yeah, I thought that's what it's about.
What is Sota? What is a Sota? 2 words.
So,
What is a Sota?
Suffolk Isha,
Suffolk Isha?
in a sense, yeah.
No.
'Cause
I'm
it's
sure
the,
she knows she's a woman.
I mean, a Suffolk.
So you have a wife.
Suffolk wife? I'm sure she knows she's married.
No,
What?
she's not.
No, she's married. We're not dealing with a Pnuya, we're dealing with an Ish. What is the Suffolk by Sota?
If
Whether
she,
she- whether
What
she's-
is a Sota?
We don't know. It's
We don't know what.
If ownership was
she
violated.
violated
If
her
what?
If ownership was
if she-
violated or
if she
not.
violated the rights of people.
A Sota is a suspected adulteress. Yes or no?
Yes. But conceptually, it's a suffix if she
So
violated.
therefore, what is greater in our concept than a suspected adulteress? An adulteress.
Right.
So there's a vadai adulteress, and there's a suspected adulteress. So in the case of a vadai adulteress, the halachas. In the case of a suspected adulteress, what must you do? Clarify, is she or is she not an adulteress? But before you can get into the whole concept of adultery, you need to know that what? That there was an infringement. And before you know there's an infringement, you have to know that he has a right. What was infringed? His rights of intimacy.
It sounds like it should be nizikin, really.
It could be a nizikin. You're right. Yeah. Because
Because,
a deviation of ownership of some
I mean,
right.
that's what nizikin is about. It's deviation of ownership, violation of ownership.
You're right. It should be
But Nashim is-
in terms of
But not
what.
relation.
But the Nashim is that ownership,
Ownership, not
right,
relation.
with regard to a woman. It's a Nashim is really nezikum of a specified object, which is a woman.
Yes. Well, it's an infringement on a legal state called marriage, on the marriage bond. That's what it is. So theoretically, it could be in nizikin because it is an infringement. Look, hezek is an infringement on somebody's rights.
Exactly, yeah.
And so is Geneva.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So theoretically, you're right. It could be in Nizikin. But since it deals with Noshim, you know, and in the flip side of the whole Sota is the concept of he has rights, right?
No, but Nida also deals with Noshim and still.
Wait, so what is Nida?
It also deals with Noshim, but it's Taharas because it's different idea. It's not,
Because-
not with ownership.
Yeah,
It's
but
with
Nida theoretically, and if you really want to look at it, could be a Noshim. Why? Because when a woman is a Nida, you do not have those rights.
Oh,
It's an exclusion of the
it
rights.
could also be there, yeah.
Yeah, but the reason why it's in Taharas is because there's also Tumah. in the
Because by
Nida.
the mechanism, how it happens.
Because she's Tomei. Therefore, the Chazal put Nida and Taras because we want to deal with the Tumah state of Nida. Nida has two concepts. She's Tomei and she's Osa. So the fact that she's Osa should be in Nashim because that's an exclusion of a man's rights with his wife. But the fact that she's Tomei and Ov HaTumah, she's in Taharas. You see, look,
Has to choose one place.
who?
Has to choose one place.
You have to put it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You see? So the whole Nashim deals with subject, object, ownership, and if you want to add the laws that emerge from that relationship.
Why did you add? Why did you add relationship?
Because subject-object, right? What about subject-object? It's a relationship called ownership.
Okay.
It's an important idea. You see? So every Masechta in Nashim will deal with some aspect of Ishus, which is the marital bond. Just like every Masechta in Moed will deal with activity in a designated time period. And just like every Masechta in Zroim will deal with object usage permissibility, either Hafrosha or verbal declaration. You see? Interesting.
So we took all 6 Yidoim already?
Not yet.
No, now we have Nezikin.
That's infringement on ownership.
It's infringement, exactly. That's right. It's either a negation, a detraction, an infringement. Whatever it is, but it's clearly a negation of ownership at some level.
So subject, object, negation of ownership.
That's right, yeah. And yet, but really, Bava Kama is negation of ownership. What is Bava Metzia and Bava Basra? What are they about?
Ownership restoration or ownership.
No, what are they about?
Well, I think it's more a bureau of ownership, no?
Why do you need a bureau?
How do you know he owns it or she owns it? Who owns it?
Not who or she, he could be he and he.
Whoever.
Right? So what's the problem there?
The determination of the ownership.
So therefore, what's the problem?
How to make a bureau of...
No, that's the aftermath. What's the problem?
Oh. Who
No,
owns
it's not known. Own is not known.
Yeah,
It's the suffix of the ownership.
Suffolk
the
Bilas. There you are.
Oh,
So the issue is Suffolk Bilas. Who?
that's Bamatzia.
That's who?
That's Bamatzia.
Who?
Bamatzia.
Yeah. Shnai Merson. Who owns the talus? Edo Metzias. Whose object is?
And Bal Basra. It's joint ownership, I guess.
The same thing. It's all about ownership, but it's a lot about like Cheskes Apatim. Who owns this property? And so on. So in Ezekiel is all about either negation of ownership, which is Hezek, or Suffolk Bilas. And therefore we can combine both into a different statement, since you have both things. What's the combination here? What's Nezikin about? Not Nezikin. Yeah, say the Nezikin about. Combine them. Combine Suffolk Bilas with negation of Bilas. And what do you emerge with? Come on, guys. You see what I'm saying? Because you have two different themes here, so I would love a combination here.
I mean, they don't combine.
Sure, they combine. You need to look for a generic above that.
I know the word.
What?
I know the word.
No,
do?
say it.
Who
Say it.
said?
Issues. No?
Who?
Issues?
Issues.
Yeah.
Ownership issues.
No.
I was going to say
I heard
determination.
That's right. You got it.
I'm going to say
Yesterday.
determination.
Yeah, because we get
But issues, it's English word, issues.
issues.
Yeah.
ISS.
Oh, English word.
Not,
Oh,
not,
issues.
not issues. Issues.
You thought issues.
Oh, issues. No. Issues. There's ownership problems.
Oh.
Issues. What problems are there in ownership? Who, or whatever happened to my thing? It's problems of ownership, Okay. And now we come to Kachim. What is Kachim about?
That we said already. Avoid the Mikdash.
Who? No. I want a sentence. I don't. But I just did with the others. You see, that's the beauty. Subject, object, relationship, ownership. Subject, object, relationship, problems, issues, and then we can just list those two problems. Let's really be so brief that it's astounding how you can organize an entire seder.
Subject, object, activity.
Who?
Subject, object, activity. Activity implies avoid the done with that object.
Not bad, but not really. It's not exact. It's not really. It's not exact. Who's the object, by the way?
Either behemoth or some grain, whatever. It could be anything. I mean, whatever they do avoid with.
Okay, no, that's
Kachim.
Who?
Kachim.
Yeah, that's the Seder. But who's the object? Who's the subject? The Jew.
Subject, yeah.
The Jew. Who is the object, really?
Sanctified objects.
Well, the object is sanctified.
Object could be whatever object that bring as a korban.
I will surprise you.
Oh, a coin.
No. I will tell you that, and you're going to tell me subject, relationship, detachment.
What?
Subject, twice. There are two subjects in Kachim. Relationship, attachment, positive.
It sounds mystical.
No. No. Why is it called a korban? Who are you offering it to? God. There you are. Subject is the man. Subject is God. You want to create a relationship, get closer. So attachment is what you want to do.
Oh, that's
But the
the search of
device
avoider.
but the device that you use is called avodah. You see?
So we're going to Hashkofa here.
Well, it's sort of like, because we're talking about what's going on here, really, you know?
We're going beyond the action.
Yeah, no, most people just study the device, but really what's going on is what? Is you want to get closer to God. So it's subject, God is not an object, He's a subject, right? And then relationship, and to promote or attachment is the relationship.
To enhance relationship.
Who?
To enhance.
To enhance, yeah.
Shalom Bayis, actually. We could say Shalom Bayis.
Who? Shalom Bayis?
Yeah.
Okay. You see, and that's really what Kachim is, except the device that's used is called Beis HaMikdash, the Avodah. Now the question then is, what does that mean? Every mitzvah is getting close to God. What's unique about Kachim that's different, let's say, about Sukkah or saying a bracha? What's unique about Kachim? Because theoretically, every mitzvah gets close to God.
Yeah, but that close is in future, but avoider, karbonos, they're supposed to bring Shekhinah now. They intensify Shekhinah right now. Other mitzvahs don't do it.
What?
The karbonos, they intensify Shekhinah now.
What do you mean now?
As a result of karbonos.
Why is it the result?
I mean, Shekhinah becomes more intense.
Why does it have to become intense?
And that's what avoid is about.
No, it is intense. It is there. The incredible
Yeah, but
thing
it becomes
about
more. No?
no, but the incredible thing about Beis HaMikdash is that God lives there. All the other mitzvahs are
Don't
what I
karbonos make it
do,
more?
and I'm hoping to get closer. In Beis HaMikdash, you are next to the
But karbonos
person.
enhance relation, they make it closer, so
Yes.
Shekhinah becomes more intense.
But the uniqueness about the Beis HaMikdash is that you're in a place where God is. It's almost like you're talking to Him. You know, it's an I-you relationship, not an I-he. It's not if I do the mitzvah, I'm closer to Him. If I do the mitzvah, the avodah, I'm closer to you because I'm looking at you. You see the difference? It's a tremendous difference between the two. You see. You know. So therefore we have subject, relationship, right? And to enhance, you know, the attachment relationship, to enhance it. So what you do is you go to his house. That's why it's called his bias. You actually go into his house and say, okay, I'm here. What's the avodah I have to do here? What avodah is there? How many things can we do in terms of an avodah to God? Really, when you think about it. How many things can we say to God?
Should we jump in right now, or should we finish with Taharos first?
Oh, I just want to say this, and we'll tell us. There's only 3 things you can say to God. Forgive me.
Help me.
Thank you. Or I acknowledge your existence. That's bakosha.
There's no help me korban.
There's no help me, korban.
I acknowledge your existence is...
Yeah. Forgive me is the chatas nyosham.
Oh, why there is
Oh,
no...
I thought you talked about davening. You talked about korbanos.
I'm talking about kachim,
One
kubas.
second, but why there is no help me korban? There should be,
Why did you
because
say
it's
that?
normal. It's normal relationship. It's
Yeah. I would imagine
Make me
because
rich.
what?
Make me rich.
To acknowledge that thing.
Because I had to take out.
Yes, when else
Now here's the way it works. No, but you understand. Make me rich because I had to take out a loan from the bank to pay for the $10,000 for the korban.
Right.
no,
I had to
seriously.
mortgage my house to pay for the chatas because those bulls are very expensive.
No, seriously. There is thank you.
There's forgive me,
Yeah, forgive me for sure. I mean,
which is chatas and osham.
Yeah.
It's all the korbanos that have a kapora.
There is
It's thank you, shlomim the toida. You know what I'm saying?
Is the acknowledgement?
The bechor, the maisa, these are all thank yous.
Is the acknowledgement?
Who?
Is the korban acknowledgement?
Every korban in essence
Yeah, but
is
it
an
is-
acknowledgement, but has
yeah,
a specific message.
Well, that's oila.
Well, an oil is like half acknowledgement and half kapora. It's like in between.
But there's no pure acknowledgement. There's no such a thing.
There's no what?
There's no pure acknowledgement, right?
Well, there is. I think the korban tomid is a pure acknowledgement.
Oh, tamid.
Tamid.
It's not. It's not. Thank you. It's not.
It's not thank you. It's not forgive me.
Well, it's also a kapara.
I'm sure everything. I think ultimately everything is a kapora.
Also.
So
Really.
But what about an nedava? An nedava could be an ultimate.
you don't always thank you. No.
It could be an acknowledgement too.
Well, a nedava. What's the nedava? A nedava could be a chatas, could be an asham, or like those are chiyuvim.
No.
Yeah, those are choiva. Yeah, but another shlomim. Yeah, okay. So that's thank you.
It could be thank you. It could be acknowledgement. Could
I could,
Yeah.
but usually it's a thank you of some sort.
usually, but it could be an acknowledgement.
I imagine so. But
It's like this acknowledgement that you're Hashem, you're great. Although there might be, probably be some type of level of thank you.
yeah, usually.
Underneath that.
Yeah, if you think about what else they're going to do.
We definitely need like help me korban for sure. No, I mean, it's impossible not to have it. I don't believe it.
I think you should take it up with the Kohen Gadol.
No, seriously, no, but he's right because it's like it's a part. It's a certain relationship which is. I mean, it's a part of a
It's
relationship.
funny because the whole davening is help me.
Yeah, and that.
Oh, the whole is bakosha.
Bakasha, right?
That's what you mean by help me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a power. It's mamash power.
Is there a korban of help me? I don't know of any korban that's that essentially says help me.
And davening is in place of carbon, so I mean, it's obviously
The common tamid must be more than just acknowledgement.
no. It's just acknowledgement.
Because this is davening is for common tamid.
Yeah, but there's no like.
There was a tefillah.
There's no help me aspect over there. I mean, if you go through it, there's nothing there.
But the korban is the key to transfer you to that point where you can say help me.
That's a drushal, right? Yeah, I mean,
Probably. I would imagine that if you, thank you or forgive me, and that the help me aspect is somehow embedded in those
Well, that's part of the tshuva aspect of.
messages. Yeah, I would imagine so.
But isn't the point of davening to realize that Hashem is the one who gives us everything we need?
Yes.
So maybe that's the point. Maybe
Well, even
when I acknowledge
davening,
Hashem,
even that, the first three brachas are acknowledgement.
the bakosha is a part
and
of
every single bracha has part of it. I mean, the
Acknowledgement.
end of the bracha is
Yeah,
acknowledgement,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
So it
So it's
seems
probably inherently in that.
right. It seems that acknowledgement that Hashem is the
It
one
includes
who could be
the-
Saleach or whatever, or Fa'inu. That's the whole thing. I mean, Hashem says, "You acknowledge that I could do it. I'll do it."
Probably.
It sounds very good.
Taurus. It's, what is it?
Subject.
Subject, one.
Object.
Who's the object? Who?
I mean, all kind of kelim, whatever. Not just kelim. I mean,
No, you see, that's why it's tricky. It's really subject. Who's the second subject?
Again,
Who?
there's nobody there. It's just a person, a tuma, and a bunch of objects.
Oh, excuse me, what did you just say?
A person.
Yeah.
What else?
This ugly tuma.
Who?
This ugly tuma.
So is Tuma subject or is it an object?
It's an object.
I mean, some. It's not subject
It
for
can't be an
sure.
object. It's not anything
subject.
of substance.
Tuma, exactly.
It's a
Tuma,
subject.
it's a subject. Tuma is a being.
It's a spooky entity.
Spooky.
Spooky, right?
There must be a Hebrew word that corresponds to spooky. What it is. The reason why, because Tuma is not an object, it's a subject, it's a thing. That, so you go like this, subject, person, subject is the Tuma, entity, which is spiritual, relationship, involvement, or interaction
The relation between whom and whom?
between the Tuma and the person. And it's all about the involvement or the interaction between A and B. Is there or is there not an involvement or interaction?
What does involvement mean here?
Taurus answers only one question. What is that
Oh,
question?
was the person tama or not?
Yes. Is he Tome or Tor? Why? Is he Tome, which means that Tuma and him have interacted? Is he Tor, which means he and the Tuma have not interacted? It's the whole thing. So therefore, Taurus deals with subject, the relationship between these two, and is it positive or negative, or is there an interaction or involvement? Yes or no? You know? And the whole Taurus goes, trying to establish, what are the sources of Tumah, the levels of Tumah, the objects that can contract Tumah, and so on. But it's all about, is it Tumah at all? So now you have all six. So you can actually look at this color terracula. The only thing that we have not included is Midas. Midas. We're in the we're in the in the Sidorim on there about Midas, Gaiva and so on.
Oh,
Midas.
Not the Tractate Midas.
What?
Not the Tractate Midas.
I thought you were
No.
talking about checking
In
minutes.
Chachon.
So if you really think about it, take a look. You could see Kol HaTerah in 6 statements, which is really amazing. It's either about subject and an object, and in terms of the object, the usage, A, subject-object usage permissibility. So it's about a subject and its object. It's about a relationship, but it's the usage of that object. Noshim is what?
The ownership.
The ownership of that object. The zikin is the detraction of that object. So there are 3 Sodom that have to deal with subject-object. Either the usage, the relationship of ownership, or the negation of ownership. That's it. The other Masechtas, that's 3. One of them does not deal with objects really. It deals with activities. Of course there's an object in the activity, but it essentially deals with doing something, performing something. So it's subject and his activities. So we have 3 that deal with the subject and his object. There's one that deals with the subject and his activity. And then there's one that deals with the subject and something else, God, and subject and something else, Tumah. So, it's like the whole Kol HaTerah has been reduced to 6 major areas of a person's life.
So how do you summarize it in one sentence?
Good question. How do you summarize it in one sentence?
It's a relationship of a subject to objects
Well,
with respect to
no, but what about Kochim? Subject.
There's only
Not
3 that are
objects.
objects.
So you need something higher.
It's always subject.
It's a relationship of a subject. It's a relationship of subject to other subjects. No, relationship of subject to subjects. And it's a relationship of subject to either another subject or an object.
No, I want one sentence. Not no. What you do is
Yeah.
combining.
Yeah.
I don't want a combination here.
Yeah.
That's cheating. It's a combo.
All right, so you got to go one higher. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta go higher.
I mean, what's higher? Only Hashem. What's higher?
No,
No. Then
The
what?
subject is
Yeah.
subject is higher, but there's something.
Yeah,
with
but
the
everything
subject.
else is different
There's
other than
something-
subject.
We need the subject and something else that will combine.
Everything-
Yeah, but what's
all
the
other-
else? It's like
What?
subject and everything else. I mean, subject and no
Oh,
subject.
interaction of subjects and objects.
No, you're gonna do that again. You see, you're going
Subject in the universe. I mean, it's too philosophical.
No, no. There is one word that describes
Not non-subject. One
subject and another word
Right.
that describes all of these things. There is
Sub-
one word.
subject and beyond. Sounds like poetic.
It sounds like Bed Bath and Beyond. Well, now I know what the Beyond is. You know, there's still Bed Bath and Beyond.
It's over there.
What?
It's over there.
Come on, guys.
You found it. It's right just right there.
Yeah, it's
Bed
okay.
Bath.
Subject.
Relationship interaction between subjects and objects. I mean, maybe like something
Almost.
a mixture of subject and object and whatever they're doing together. There.
No, not object. Object isn't the word because that's the problem.
No, subjects and objects. I mean, what is?
No.
Subject interactions.
Okay.
Oh, subject. There is relationships
Studying
and
the
interactions
Subject interactions
with the rest of the universe.
subject interactions.
How about the galaxies?
With the rest of the creation. I mean,
No.
Some
No.
of the subject
I'm inclined to philosophy.
subject
You
interactions.
see, no, just you're almost there. Subject, and what was the second word you said? And
When
what? God, subject and his relationship with.
non-subject, creation, universe, objects, other
The outside
subjects.
world.
Who?
The world.
Subject and his relationship with other entities, be they objects or other subjects.
That's
They're
a
all
great word
entities.
here.
And what about the activity?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
What about the activity?
What?
Subject. I mean, how do you?
How does
where's
activity fit
Moed?
into it?
Yeah.
I imagine the entity there would be time.
Oh, you would call this an entity.
Yeah. Because that's really what stops the activity is time. Subject and his relationship with entities.
So the heading would be subject among entities.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little spooky.
Well,
but,
subject and his relationship with entities.
Right.
Whether they be object, they be time, they be God, they be Tumah, and so on.
You don't want to put regulations in that.
Who?
The regulation of a subject and his relationship.
You
with
could say
entities.
that. The laws
The laws.
concerning,
Mitzvahs.
yeah,
It's called mitzvahs.
the laws concerning a
It's
subject
just mitzvahs, it's
and
small.
various entities.
That's what mitzvahs are about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not only about
So
mitzvahs. I mean, here.
Well, we
Commandments.
specified which specific, but overall, it's really about the laws that concern a subject, right,
His
and
relationship.
its relations and his relationship, whatever, with various entities.
Yeah.
You see,
So
the interesting thing about that.
we actually should. We're making a scene now on Shas.
No, one more idea. But there is something where the subject, the laws are not about the subject and his relationship with entities. What's left? Actually, I said it. We do not cover one area called Midas. That's not about other entities, it's about himself,
It's about objects.
his character, his behavior.
Well, it's a subject in his relationship to himself, in a sense.
Yeah, but we don't call that a relationship to self. It's it's identical. He and himself is identical.
It's a subject in his relationship to his character traits.
I wouldn't use the word relationship. A subject exhibiting certain behaviors,
Why subject? What's
A man, subject simply means a person. Subject of a predicate. It's a grammatical. The subject, who? The subject, insofar as his developing attributes.
Parameters, dimensions.
Yeah, but it's all about self. You know, it's about self. What he thinks, his gaiva, his kas. You know what I'm saying? It's midas. So we now see, interestingly, that all the laws of the Torah are concerned either a subject and himself, or a subject and other entities. That's the overall of the entire Torah. And then he has, okay, you know, what are the other entities? And you have a list. You have objects, you know what I'm saying? You have activities, or time. Then you have God, then you have Tumah, which is interesting. And then you go further down, you know.
So where is Avos in Nezikin? Avos is Midas? Is that what
Yeah,
is
well,
Avos?
Avos is correct behavior. What is Avos about? Correct
Midas.
behavior.
Mhm.
Well,
Well, correct thinking and correct behavior.
behavior includes thinking. Thinking, speaking, feeling. Avos is all about correct behavior that a person should exhibit. In many different fields. In fact, you could divide Masech, that's how you divide Avos. There's correct behavior in thinking, in how you interact with people. You know what I'm saying? What are you supposed to do with yourself, learning? In other words, what is the correct behavior a person should engage in?
What is
That's
it
what
doing?
Avos is all about.
What is it doing in Ezekiel?
Who?
What is it doing in Ezekiel?
Why is this in Ezekiel? Avos?
Yeah,
What do you think?
makes no sense. No.
The Yetzer Hara is negating your ownership of your neshama.
That's Kabbalah. It doesn't belong to Ezekiel.
Who?
It doesn't belong to Ezekiel. I mean, maybe, if I don't keep what Avos is telling me, then probably I would be mazik. I don't know.
What is Nezikin all about?
About infringement of violation of ownership.
So that's incorrect behavior.
But who owns whom?
If you ask yourself, where's between man and man, or Nezikin is about incorrect behavior. I mean, it's about a certain type of incorrect behavior, where you negate somebody else's ownership.
Well, it's about correct behavior, really.
No. So therefore, Avos is about the correct behavior, to save you from the incorrect behavior, which is Nezikin.
As a safeguard.
Yeah. No, because if you think about it, of all the Siddurim and Shas, which one deals with incorrect behavior? It's not Zroim. It's about, how do I eat? It's not about Moed, what do I do? It's not about Noshim, how do I get to own it? You know, it's not about Kochim, my relationship through the Avodah. It's not about Taharas, I'm Tameh. The only one that really deals with infringement, incorrect behavior, is really Nezikin.
So keeping one from the infringement, whatever.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
It's like the refuah before the makkah.
I think it's the Ben Adam Lechavera aspect.
Yeah, that's right.
Of
That's really what it
Avos
is.
that makes it belong to Nezikin.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Wow.
You know. So we see that there's a logic in each one of these things. Okay, now that we've finished Kol Torah Kula, you can all go home.
Are the Prakim in Avos structured? Just like
Wait, I
side
just
question. Just curious. Yeah.
That could be next month.
Now that we've done this, what is your general feeling?
Like, feels good.
No, I feel
We're
like
not gonna-
I feel I could do it now.
You can do what?
I could learn it.
Yeah, because everything now is going to be a prat in those statements, really. And you can actually go through 63 Masechtos, right? And you can see how each one fits.
Right.
Each one is just a prat in its cloud.
To go Masechta after Masechta and to see exactly
Exactly.
where
So
it is.
you can actually have a list of the central idea. This is really what it's all about. What we've done here is discover the central idea of the Siddurim. And therefore that now reveals to us the central idea of every Masechta. Because every Masechta is a prat. So once you have the central, remember the most powerful thing in the mission is the central idea? Because that unites. This idea unites everything now. And now we have what's called a roadmap. You know? I say, okay, this is Asia, this is America, and so on. I have a roadmap now. I know where I am. I've located myself conceptually where I am. And now that's an incredible enhancement to now go into the different Masechtas. You see? And we could do that. Just pick a Masechta.
Maybe we should like one by one all the Masechtas and just see central idea and see how it fits each Masechta into that Seder, into that central idea of the Seder.
How you could do it in general, yeah. Well, we see where Brachas fits.
Yeah, Brachas, yeah, but
Take Taharos.
no, but
That's
should we take all
that's
Shas and go Masechta after Masechta? Just, I mean, it shouldn't take long. I mean, because we know by the Seder.
Yeah, I
already,
don't know if we have time for that, but you can do that.
Can we? I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like it's a great idea. That for sure we could make a sim after.
I mean, Zoraim, you don't
You already know.
anything.
Yeah, Zoram is obvious, basically.
Yeah, the only problematic thing that's wrong was Brachas, but we've solved that.
Right.
It's object usage permissibility,
True.
except it's a what do you call it? It's
Verbal declaration.
a verbal declaration.
Nizikin is also very clear.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are different sects that deal with that, you know.
Moed is for sure clear. Probably. I mean,
Yeah,
Moshe-
well, yeah. The only difference in Moed Masech is the time period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And appropriate. Whatever.
And there's Erevin. What's an Erev? What's Erevin?
Ooh. I mean, it's Shabbos, obviously.
Yeah,
Shabbos, but it's specific part in Shabbos.
what is that prat?
It's one specific restriction, a specific behavior restriction on Shabbos. I mean, it fits very nicely there.
Not to Shabbos, also Yom Tov.
Huh?
No.
Oh, no, not Yom Tov, just Shabbos, I'm sorry.
So what is Erevin about, really?
Haitzah.
Hey, that's how it starts. But what's Erevin about?
Erevin is it's a restricted activity.
No. We're being more Protestant. What is Erevin really all about? Okay. Oh, that's good because he's got all the mistakes.
Right.
Okay, what's Erevin all about? What's a
Permitting,
central- what?
permitting a forbidden activity, permitting Haitzah.
Almost. You're almost there. You are almost there. That was very good, by the way. You are permitting a what?
A forbidden activity.
Activity of Hitzor.
Yeah.
Almost.
No, but it's not forbidden anymore. I mean,
How could you? Let me ask you. You're forbidding. What'd you say?
no.
Permitting a
Permitting.
forbidden
I said
activity.
permitting.
No, it can be.
Wait. But here's the concept.
It can be.
How could you permit Hitzor?
It's not Haitzah anymore.
What are you permitting? What does an Erev do?
It's not Haitzah anymore.
No, permits a boundary.
No.
It's a,
It's
No.
it extends the.
What does an Erev do?
It makes Hatzor into non-Hatzor.
No, it removes.
To non-Hitzor. But my question was, you can't permit Hitzor.
Right, because it's all on Hatzor.
Hitzor is what's in Torah.
Right.
oh, I know, it changes, it causes,
It removes the forbidden status.
no, it
No,
changes.
how could you remove Hitzor? It's also in Torah. You can't permit that.
It changes the identity of Rishus. Changes Rishus from
No.
one type of Rishus
It removes the Isod Rabbanan of
Oh.
the case.
That's it. An Erev is a device that removes a rabbinically, excuse me for the fancy word, an Erev is a device, right, that removes a rabbinically forbidden activity of Hitzor.
In certain situations.
Only when it's rabbinically Osa. If it's Osa min Torah, forget it. That's all it is. So an Erev is a tikkun, it's a remedy. Along came Chazal and they said, hey, this is Osa. They said it was Osa. Min Torah you can carry. They said you can't carry. So what they did is they said, hey, we now created a problem. We're going to give you a remedy. Do an Erev. So an Erev is a device that will remove or permit carrying in a rabbinically forbidden rishus area, whatever you want to call it. See? So clearly then, of course, it's part of Shabbos.
But
Who?
it's part of Shabbos, yes.
Yeah. You know, it's really a Masechta, it's an appendage to Shabbos.
So can we make sure we don't miss any Masechta?
Yeah. Moed is subject, activity, regulated in designated time. Regular activity in designated time.
That's what moed is.
So Shabbos, and everything is offshoot of Shabbos.
Yeah. Well, Pesachim is a
Activity.
That's
Pesachim is a
Pesach. That's
Pesach. It's a designated time period in which activity is
What
what?
activities is
Forbidden and obligated.
Yeah.
What's obligated in Pesachim?
Korban.
Korban,
Matzah.
matzah, etc. See? Fits. We did Shabbos and Erev and Pesachim Shkolim. What's Shkolim all about?
When you have to bring the shkolim,
Yeah, it's basically the time of collection
time collection.
of public sacrifices. What's it doing in Moed?
Time.
That's specific time. Yeah.
Because they collected it. Really, conceptually, it doesn't belong in Moed.
Right.
It's not an activity in a certain
It's more,
sense.
belongs more in cultural. Right?
Exactly.
Something
yeah.
about
They
the
put
time
it
period.
here.
It's more about time than about activity, I think. Moed.
It's more about, yeah. But also, it's also Moed probably because it happened just before Pesach. They used to do it in Adar or something like that. You
It's
know?
like a part of Pesach in a sense.
Yeah. But it's again, it's a time period where collection took place. Yoma,
Yom Kippur,
That's
Sukkah,
yeah.
Beitzah.
Yom Tov.
Yom Tov.
What about Yom Tov?
It's also what's more
Who?
with them.
The forbidden activities of Yom Tov.
You got it. I see you're good at this. You're natural. What?
I hope I don't have the confidence.
That's good.
Confidence.
That's a fancy word.
Rosh Hashanah,
Obligations of Rosh Hashanah.
yeah, which is
Shofar.
Shofar,
So far.
main thing. Kindness,
Obligations of a fast day.
yeah, it's a fast day. What happens in a fast day? Megillah, Purim,
Obligations on Purim.
Moed Katan, Chol
Obligations
HaMoed,
on Chol HaMoed.
Chagiga.
Obligations on Yom Tov in the
There you are. There you are. They all are related to what? Subject, activity
Time period.
that takes place because of a designated time period. And the activity, or actually it's activity regulation, either being forbidden or obligated. It just goes through all the different time periods. Oh, great, great. Brachas. We didn't do Zroin. Brachas.
So what's wrong is
Verbal
subject, object,
Usage,
usage,
permissibility.
permissibility.
Permitting food, yeah.
Yeah, and brachas is what? The device that permits the usage of an object is a
Through verbal.
verbal
Verbal
declaration.
declaration.
Peah. Hafrasha. Remember we talked about? It's
Right.
either that. So it has hafrasha in your field that permits, it's one of the things that you need to do to permit. Demai,
Suffolk.
it's a suffix of permitted usage. Is a suffix, yes or no? Did the guy do what you have to do to permit the usage? That's a demai, is a suffix. Kalayim,
Also,
what?
mixture. I mean, how do you say
No,
that?
I can't use it.
Objects which there is no device to permit the usage.
Oh,
Because remember, whenever you talk about what you can do, you always got to talk about what you can't do. So kalayim is object usage forbidden.
Forbidden
There is no object. There's no device to permit the usage. I don't
it's
care
a
what you do.
combination of.
Well, so therefore, what is kalayim? So we talk about what
it's
what is the
combination.
law of kalayim?
Yeah.
There's no permitted, you know.
Yeah.
Shvius.
Forbidden.
Forbidden.
Shemitah. We can't.
Who?
Forbidden use of the land.
For me,
Forbidden use of the land on at a specific time.
Isurim Shemitah, basically.
But it's interesting. Shvius is all about shmita. I mean, it is shmita, right? Isn't that a designated time period? That the
Yes.
activity of planting is awesome.
So it belongs to both.
So it should be a moed.
It has two aspects.
What's the second aspect?
The fruit has a kedusha shvius.
Products, the consequences of the activity, or the consequences, or actually the objects is products of growth, right? Is forbidden. Or when is it depending on how is it permitted, and so on. Same idea.
But it's
permitted
still
usage of
Also
objects.
also permitted usage of Shemitah objects as well.
That's what it is. No, that is what Shmitas is. It's, it's the conditions in which Shemitah objects, the produce, regulation not only of activity but also objects. So they put it in as opposed. Although there are some clearly activities, but also what's is about object usage. The designated time period affects the objects also, the produce, not just the activity. So therefore they put it in Zerah. Trumas.
if you don't take truma, it's tevel.
There you are. Object usage. Maestros.
You don't
Object
take
usage. Maestro
Same thing.
object usage. Chala.
object usage.
Just ask your wife. Orla,
Object usage.
which is forbidden.
Can't use it.
It's Kalayim, same as Kalayim. And Bikurim,
Same thing.
same thing.
Really, you can't. If you don't bring bikurim, you can't use.
No. The Bikurim.
It's basically truma.
So are you saying that if you're not mafish bikurim, you can't use the rest of the fruit on the tree?
I'm not sure.
No, the field you have on the object.
I think that's true, but
Even if you
I
could do it, even
can't
if
see
you-
it for sure.
But it's still something that
Yeah,
permits usage, even if it's not strictly usage.
Okay.
But let's put it, it's an object usage requirement as opposed to a absolute object permissage.
Okay.
There you are. So Zron deals with just simple idea. Object usage, what are the devices that permit the object usage? So we did Zron, we did Moed. Noshim.
Well, if with Bikurim, if you don't bring Bikurim, you still can use it or not?
I'm not sure, but whatever it is,
We're not
but
sure.
it's still something you have to do.
Right,
Whether it's
still a
absolutely,
requirement necessary for usage.
that's why,
whether-
exactly, yeah.
whether it's
Nashim
natural or
is,
it's-
Nashim.
Subject, object.
Well, the easy ones
relationship,
are,
ownership.
what's the easy ones are, Kiddushin is what?
Ownership.
No. Kiddushin is what?
Creation of ownership.
To create the Ishus state, Bilos, to create it. Gittin is
to break.
Dismantle.
to dissolve,
Dissolve.
the marriage bond. Soita, we said it was an infringement on a husband's property rights. I hate to use that word, but it's property rights, right? Intimacy. And the soita is a suspected adulteress, so therefore it's an infringement, right, of a person's rights to an object that he owns, right? And since it deals with nashim, so it's a nashim. But theoretically it could be an ezekim, because you interfere with somebody's rights in terms of his bilos.
Is it more of the bureau of that infringement?
Who?
The bureau, the
No,
verification of that
no,
infringement?
No, because
I thought so. It's more about determining whether or not.
it is about that.
Most tractate is
But
that
look-
determination.
You don't understand. You understand. You're right. It means the laws could be heavy on the bureau, is she an adulteress or not? Because a soita is a suspected
Because that's
adulteress.
pretty much most of what Sota
But
deals with,
conceptually, it's an infringement on
no?
somebody's rights.
I agree, it's an
Fine.
infringement.
And it's infringement
But
on...
the tractate deals with the
Yes.
bureau
Yeah.
of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it can't be in the zikin because in the soita we don't know if there's an infringer or not.
Well, no, it's a suspected adulteress.
It's a
Maybe
suspected
there is or
adulteress,
not.
meaning
Maybe there wasn't.
right. Maybe there wasn't. So it
Yeah.
can't be in the zikin because in the zikin is
No, there is an
negating negation of
infringement.
ownership.
As soon as there's a suffix, there's an infringement.
No, there's an infringement, but there's not.
Because it can't.
Yeah, but
because
there's
most-
nobody that you could point to and say that he is
So what?
the mazik.
So what?
There's no,
No, she
mazik.
is.
So
She
it's like
is.
she is. Not
So
She
that's
she.
what
caused
I'm-
it.
What's
She
the
is.
She caused her own
She
mazik.
violated the rights.
That's right.
She violated the right of ownership,
Sure.
Right.
She's only...
or it's him who cannot have
No.
rights to
She
his
is...
object.
No,
She
she
did
is...
something to violate that
She is
right.
beholden to the rights of her husband.
She's a thief.
What is she? Yeah. I mean, it's funny because, but obviously she's a living person. You can't say an animal is beholden to the rights of the owner. I mean, an animal, like what does he know about ownership? But as a sentient, conscious being, she is beholden to his rights. So she has violated her husband's rights. Yeah, not just the boil, but she also, right?
No, what she did is
Also,
it's
the
indirect.
Kedushin gave.
It's not like a mazik. She's not like a direct
The
mazik. She's an
Kedushin made a
indirect
contract.
mazik.
No,
She's
it's
a
direct
mazik.
It's direct mazik.
What did she do?
What'd she do?
She did yichud.
With some other guy.
No,
What did she do?
whatever she did now, he cannot have what he should have.
No, she was with this guy.
That's what a
She
sutta is.
just-
Sutta is
she
yichud.
just-
That's what.
she
That's what.
destroyed his-
We don't know how far she went.
No. So it is yichud, but who? So she's miyachet. So therefore what?
That made her into a
No,
sutta.
because she's a suspected adulteress.
Right, because she
Not
got-
because she's
because
yichud.
she-
Yichud is no. Fine. So first of all, yichud. The Dover Melech made that takana. You know.
That's with Pnuya, but here he actually like he warned her.
But
And she
don't get the Mayim Hamaorim for yichud. You get it because she was with some other guy. To clarify that, the severity of a soita isn't yichud. It's maybe she was with a guy.
Right, so that is a
You know what I'm
maybe. So
It
because
doesn't-
that is a maybe, I
so
can't
it's
tell
Nezikin,
Torah
it's also suffix bias. So what? It's still a negation.
Still,
So what
this
is it?
affects the verse,
So
yes,
what?
but it goes on that. That's the heavy.
Everything like Zikin just,
What?
it's a thing like Zikin which has to do with Erva. Anything with Erva, the Zikin one.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know. Anyway, Nadarim. Why is Nadarim in Nashim?
Baal Mefer is.
There you are. Because a Baal has a property right. He can be made for Nadarim. And then you have the rest of the Masechta. But really, that's why. It's what a husband can be made for Nadarim. Right? Nausea.
The husband could be made fair.
Who?
The husband could
Made for annul of his
Or-
wife's vow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why it's in Nashim. Nausea.
Well, you're speaking of vows, so the Nazir made a vow of Nazirus.
Yeah, so exactly.
It's
So
enough, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
It's an
Nadarim is a
not really
verbal.
it's not really part of
and
Nashim.
and how do you form a neder? A verbal declaration. So a nazar also create. So a neder. What is a neder? What's the incredible thing about a neder?
Your words cause something,
What is a cause?
An obligation.
an obligation.
Prohibition.
Oh,
You create-
it creates an isa. You ever hear? A guy can actually create an isa on himself, not from the Bansham, it's from him. You know, that's the incredible thing about a neder, that he can actually create an isa Torah. You know, so therefore, how do you create it? Through a verbal declaration.
What's the difference
So a
between the
nazir.
greatness of that and a chumrah?
Who?
He says, what's the greatness of a neder? You can prohibit something to yourself. So make a chumrah.
No, that's direct.
No, but no,
But chumrah does the same thing.
no. But if you have a chumrah, you're not over an isa deraisa. You have a neder, you have an isa deraisa,
Oh, okay.
right? That's
Okay.
That's
That's
different,
different.
right?
And Nazir.
Nazir, because you can create. What is a nazir? The fundamental idea of a nazir. A nazir is an individual that has a certain kedusha state. The way he created it was how? Verbal declaration. So just like a neder, you can create an isa through a verbal declaration. A nazir can create a kedusha state, and which creates isurim, also through a verbal declaration. It's an agav, but you know, ksubas.
That's the.
Nobody wants to answer.
No.
Yeah.
That's the. That's,
What's
that's,
ksubas?
The obligation.
that's a legal document there
That what?
that creates the obligation between.
Doesn't create
I mean
anything.
that is. What do you call it?
It
Define-
states
that
the
defines
obligations.
the relationship.
It
between-
describes the obligation that a husband has toward his wife. That's ksuba, which is obviously nashim. And Yavamas?
The ownership of your brother's wife.
Transfer of ownership.
Transfer ownership.
No, it's
Doesn't sound politically correct.
Erva or something, no?
The Zikif, all the Zikif that we have, it's also Erva.
Yavamas is a deviation from those women that you can't marry. You cannot marry an Ishes Och. Yavama is a special case that you can. Yavamas assumes that you know that there's a concept called Erva. You cannot marry your brother's wife. But Yavama is a certain situation in which you can marry her. So therefore, Yavamas is about aroyas that are permitted. Again, Nashim.
Permitted Erva.
Correct. Permitted Erva.
Hepshas.
Half shots, not bad.
So we'll finish the other half next time?
And we'll finish that half next time.
Thank you very much.
Isn't that incredible?